Welcome to the channel. Link down below as always to credit where I'm getting my information from. In this case, IGN, but also directly from the horse's mouth, Nickmercs, popular Call of Duty streamer on Twitch. He was banned for using this word right here that I can't say, not because I'm offended, not because I'm soft, because I don't want my ass kicked on YouTube and to be taken down. It's the T word. You could say trans, you could say transgender, you can't say that word. Then I got into a whole discussion about it on Twitter, which was really crazy, but most people were on my side. Not that I care if they were or not. And it was where I said, I've used that word before in the past because a long time ago, that is literally the word that they were using to describe themselves, right? It's like a gay person. You can call them gay because that's what they are. But then they decide to say, no, that's a slur or something like that. Or you're not allowed to say it if you're not gay yourself, as an example. So, yeah, it's just really bizarre. So he then says, you know what? Apparently that's a derogatory term. He didn't know. He goes, that's on me. Next time I'll just use mental health disorder. Now, if anything, because that could be up for debate, I'm not going to get into that in this video. Not because I'm afraid to share what I think, because I'm not entirely sure myself where I stand on that. But either which way, whether it is or isn't a mental health disorder, I would probably argue that the people in this world, in the Pride community, would probably rather be called this than this, or maybe not. I don't know. It's very exhausting because there's a lot of words that you used to be able to say that were maybe slightly controversial or not really, wasn't that big of a deal. It wouldn't get you crucified, essentially, for saying it. Now you're getting banned. It's temporary, but it is ridiculous because I don't think he meant any ill will intent behind it. It is a word that was acceptable. The N word, for example, I don't recall a period in which that was ever acceptable. So that one is very easy to be like, I ain't saying that shit. But this one, I mean, I've accidentally said it. And it wasn't because I was trying to be rude. It's because there's the word. Like I said, see how I paused? I'm like, oh my God, make sure you're sure here, because there's people that are screen capturing this shit right now just waiting for me to make a mistake. And there are people like that, and those people really do suck. So transgender, you can say. Trans, you can say. Then there's another one, transv. Apparently that one's not good. But I've known people, I've had friends that are trans, and they've used that word. And then I had a couple of young people, 22, 26 years old, go, no one's ever used that before. I've never seen anybody refer to themselves as that word. And I'm like, bitch, when you were born, I was already in my 20s. Don't tell me where I live in my time that that is not sometimes the word they used to refer to as themselves. Refer themselves as. Helps if I could speak properly. So then it ended up becoming a big debate and an argument. And that's the part where on this channel, I don't like getting into too much drama and controversial stuff. You won't hear me talk about the Biden-Trump debate. You will on my news politics controversy channel. It's called NPC. That's the acronym, News Politics Controversy. But it's also to talk about not being an NPC, right? Don't be programmed to believe that you have to think a certain way. If something feels wrong to you in your gut and it goes against the grain of what you normally would align with politically, go for it. I was that libtard that was like, you know what? Build the Trump wall. Go for it. And everybody on the left completely shat on me. And then practically everybody on the right was like, hey, we like this libtard. And then people are like, don't use that word. It's an albist slur. And I was like, Alexa, what's an albist? Alexa Bliss? What? I've never heard that word before. So that's another word now. That's probably going to get me canceled. You can't use the word libtard because that goes in line with the word re. Okay? Can't even say that word. I used to say that word. Oh my God. A lot. I still sometimes do. Accidentally. Because again, no, I feel like I have to defend myself, put on like my armor and my shield, and it's a word that like, oh, that's so dumb, or that's so R. And it helped describe the situation, saying that it was dumb, it was stupid, it's backwards thinking, it's like it just properly explained it. Or if somebody was being one and you called them out specifically and you said, don't be such an R. In other words, don't be dumb. Like, you don't have an excuse to be an R because you actually aren't an R, but you're acting like one. Whereas a real person who's got the mental R, right? They have a reason to be that way. So we're not making fun of them. It wasn't an attack on that community. Plus, I have mental disorders. I'm bipolar. I've got OCD, ADHD, a bunch of things with the DDs. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just don't get it. There's a difference between, you know, like what he said too with the trans thing. Oh, they don't exist. Well, I believe they do exist because they're saying that they exist because it is a thing, right? It is an actual thing. But for me, he should be allowed to vocalize it because he's not coming from a place of hate, which is what Twitch is saying that he did. Being prejudiced, motivated by hatred. I don't see that it's motivated by hate, or he's not discriminating against them. He used a word that used to be okay. Now it's not. It's harassment. It's violent. No, it isn't. And like, no, it isn't. And like, I don't know. It's a very, very sad world we live in. You can't even make a comment like, oh, LGBTQ plus. I was okay with the LGBT, then the Q's came in and they just started adding to the acronym. Eventually we're going to be learning the alphabet in complete reverse order. And it's going to be backwards. You can't even make like a subtle little jab like that. You can't even make like a lighthearted comment, and this is going to get me canceled. You can't even say something like, hey, the Pride people, they're really crafty when you think about it. They're very smart. They're pacing themselves out. There's only so many letters in the alphabet. So they started off with some letters, and now they're adding in numbers and symbols because it helps spread out and pace out the use of the alphabet. You can't even say something lighthearted like that. Nowhere are you wishing death upon them and violence or even insulting their lifestyle. But sometimes people are tired of hearing about what less than 5% of the population is doing 90% of the time. Again, that's not hate. It's an observation, and I'm so sick and tired of this kind of bullshit. Now, if he was, I'm assuming that's his pronouns. I'm assuming Nick, if, let's say, and I'm not saying he did do this. I'm saying, okay, never mind Nick. Let's say somebody else said the same thing. Or something along the same lines as that. But they were like, they should all be executed. It should be the death penalty. Yeah, I'm against that. I'm against saying that. Because now you're literally calling for violence. And to me, that is where you draw the line. That's like obvious, blatant patronism. Is that a word? My first language is French. So excuse me. Pardonnez mon anglais. Yeah, I think, excuse me. I've even talked about this before in regards to like even Alex Jones. Like, I don't agree with practically anything he says. However, he has raised good points, in my opinion, Alex Jones. And for me, unless it's something blatantly obvious, again, where you're totally fabricating something and it's just like, it's irrefutable proof. I can't give you a specific example off the top of my head right now. Then, you know, ban that video or whatever. But just in general, and I know that you're going to be like, hey, you're nitpicking here. As a whole, generally speaking, I do not like censorship. I usually am the firm believer that if you don't like what someone's saying, then don't listen to them. I'm tired of people going into Nickmercs thing. I'm so tired of seeing him on my time. Then, bitch, block him. Get rid of him. Mute him. Do something. Quit watching his stuff. I'm tired of hearing him complain about the Pride community. Then why do you... It's like burning your hand on a stove. And you're like, I'm tired of burning my hand on the stove. But you keep turning the stove on and putting your hand on the element. Like, it makes no sense. Right? Like, I don't stand for Dr. Disrespect because of what he did. So what did I do? I don't listen to him. Well, he's on vacation now, but I'm just saying, like, I don't get it. So yes, sometimes it could be hard to, where do you draw that line? Oh, people that say certain things or incite violence, ban them. Well, now you're still doing the whole thing where you're censoring them. Great. But to me, that would be like some type of censor control. Again, obvious hate and violence. Like, okay, like very obvious. Like these people that make manifestos before they do like a mass shooting in a school. Those people. Yeah. Ban them. Right? Those are the extremes. People accidentally misgendering someone using a word that used to be floated around like it was nothing, and now they decide it's not okay, but the word slips. I wouldn't be so concerned with the one word that he used as to more the whole entire context of the conversation. Was he saying that they should all be jailed and fined and all this kind of stuff? Or is he just saying something empty like, they don't exist. To me, there's no such thing. There's no hate there. I honestly don't get it. And I don't want to be one of those people that I like yes to everything, because it's BS. And if everybody just smiles and nods and follows this ridiculousness that's been going on, that is how we're going to keep staying in this situation, and that's how things are going to get worse. I'm going to leave with this. There was a black woman on, I think it was TikTok, and it was shared on Twitter, who said that good morning is racist because it comes from slave owners back in. That's what I'm getting at. That's too much. No. I will not stop telling my neighbors good morning. Okay? Like, it's just, and then the lady getting kicked off the flight because she apparently accidentally misgendered one of the flight attendants. Like, it's just getting, and I know this is like a really weird, convoluted rant. A lot of people might hate what I'm saying, and that's fine, because you're allowed to feel the way you feel. I will never tell you that you're wrong in how you're feeling. I may question it. I may challenge it. I'm not going to tell you flat out you're wrong for feeling this way, because they're your feelings. Because in return, I wouldn't want you to tell me that how I feel is wrong. We agree to disagree. Me personally, I don't use that word because I've been made aware that it's not so nice. So I try. When I say I try hard, it's not because I'm trolling again. It's because when you're so used to saying something that's okay, and then all of a sudden it's not okay, sometimes it could just slip. You're in conversation and blah 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 blah, and or your friend that is a trans says that they're that word, and then it sticks in the back of your head, and then in a conversation you talk with them and you're like, so, how long have you been and then you end up saying that word, and other people are like, oh my God, quick, bring out the 9-inch nails and crucify him. No, you apparently you can do that, but you shouldn't be able to do that. You really shouldn't. No, you draw the line somewhere, and I have to admit, sometimes it's hard to, okay? Someone said by that token what you said on Twitter. I just kind of briefly tapped into it. You're okay with the N-word. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So just to be clear, do not ever insinuate that, because I don't think it's okay to use the N-word. I mean, I'll say the word Nintendo. Okay? About it. Again, I like to be a sarcastic smartass. I'm not saying I'm funny. I've made myself chuckle a couple of times, and if you don't laugh at my cringy, goofy, silly, pathetic jokes, that's okay, because ultimately, I don't recall selling you a ticket to my show. I don't owe you a laugh. So if you're not laughing, great. Don't laugh. Be miserable, be uptight, and I will continue to be happy on a platform that I can't even get 50 views on average per video after 6 years on YouTube. And yet here I am still doing this. So clearly I'm not in it for the money. People are going to say, oh, he's hungry for all the drama. First Dr. Disrespect, now Nickmercs. He's just sucking up all this drama to profit from it. Yeah, so I've made 3 videos on Dr. Disrespect. 2 of them were flagged. They're inappropriate for monetization. And the 3rd one that passed was my Batman one, and it got like 100 views. I don't even think that even triggered the algorithm for making money. I don't even think I made a penny on that video. Okay? I do this because I actually enjoy this, and nobody on earth on this platform on social media can rival that and have better proof, because most people they thrive, they progress, they evolve. I haven't really evolved. I'm getting the same views, I'm getting the same money I did within the first 5 months I was on YouTube half a decade later. So clearly, if this isn't proof that I'm doing this for fun, then there's something wrong with you. Because there is no better proof than this. If I was making thousands of dollars per video every time I posted something dramatic, yeah, you'd be allowed to be like, yeah, he's doing this for the engagement because he's making money off it. Yeah, no. Between my Batman video, this video, and the 3 in-depth Dr. Disrespect videos that I made, combined together, I think I made 13 cents. So the next time you think I'm doing this just for the money, think again. And don't think too hard. Really don't. So there it is. Again, I'm not here to defend the use of this word. I don't use it, and I try very hard not to. Like I said, it could accidentally sometimes come out. Whereas the N-word for me doesn't, because, again, like I said, I never grew up in a place and time where that word was ever acceptable. So it was always ingrained in the back of my head. Not okay. Not okay. Okay? So yeah. Whereas this word, again, for me specifically, and that's why you got to treat these things, and you can't, well, what about the N-word? Well, what about the F-A, okay, word? Every single word, every single scenario has to be analyzed individually differently. Why are you sort of kind of not really saying he shouldn't be banned, but Dr. Disrespect, you're saying that he should be completely banned? Well, because they're 2 totally different situations. One is more extreme than the other, in my opinion. Don't tell me this video is like 20... Oh my god, it's almost 20 minutes long. Listen. I don't like bickering, arguing, and all this kind of stuff. I just wish the world would get along. We would stop pushing our narrative down other people's throats. We would just let people live their lives the way they want to live them, so long as it is not harming or exploiting anyone. You know what I mean? Then, again, and then if a person gets attacked for being something, then you deal with that situation, and then you verbally attack the person that's belittling the other person, right? You address it case by case. You don't turn the whole world upside down for something that doesn't happen all that often, and then become overly sensitive with this stuff. There's a game I just bought called Bum Simulator, and there was a person on the Steam reviews, and I thought it was satire at first, and it wasn't. And they're like, you know what? This is really belittling. Bum should be an out. There's the word again, albus slur. I was homeless for a long time, and this really insults me. And I'm like, bitch, I was homeless for how long? I lived under a goddamn bridge. I could barely ever shower or any of that stuff. And that was like that for me for a very long time, some of the darkest times of my life. And you know what? The game is funny. Get over yourself. Honestly, it sounds like a rude thing to say. But just because you're offended doesn't mean the game should be taken down and it should be canceled. This cancel shit, even though I just said certain people should be, there should be some kind of repercussion. Yeah, no. It's got to stop. It has to, because eventually, someday, I will lose my shit and I'll just end up on Rumbler, which is a platform that just basically lets you do what you want. But I've worked so hard to get the very little group of people that are subscribed. I don't call them fans because only 1.2% of people watch my content that are subscribed to me. Real fans would really watch all my shit, or most of it, or 10% of it, or something, not 1.2%. 98.8, I'm not good at math, percent of people that watch my stuff year to year, half a decade on, aren't even people that are subscribed to me. So, I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm going to end the video here. I think you get the point. I don't think he should have been banned for this specific instance. For this here. For I don't even know what he said, to be honest with you. Like I said, he could have gone off on a bunch of hateful stuff after he said that word, and I'm not aware of it. But if it's true that he was banned for that word alone and nothing else that he said in his speech, then no. No. He shouldn't be banned for that. That's where I stand. Am I wrong? I could be in your eyes. It happens. Right? It happens. Honestly, though, I just want the world to do better, to be better, not be so sensitive, but at the same time not being a bunch of jerk-offs and jackasses attacking each other. Don't be a dingleberry. Try to be nice. It's a good feeling when you're nice to people, honestly. And the world could use some of that, for real. So there you have it. A thumbs up, which I doubt I'll get, but that's okay. A thumbs up if you liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm and trying to make me a little bit more relevant in the search results when people are looking stuff up online. And if you didn't like the video, you know, okay. Go ahead, give it a thumbs down. I'll bend it in half. I'll twist it, and I'll break it off in your ass. Your own thumb, by the way, not mine. You're not getting this thumb. No, not happening. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, obviously that'd be great now, wouldn't it? But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. And maybe, if I'm lucky, and if I'm still around, I'll see some of you in the next video. Bye for now.